The concept of art, what is considered art and what is not, has changed through the years. For example, back then, the main purpose of art was to express the splendor and flourish for God.
It also established differences between the social classes, the spread of political views, or signified the birth of a new culture. But now, art has been spinning around a common single idea, conceptualism.
In order to understand conceptualism, let's go back to its roots, Marcel Duchamp and his prototypical conceptual works, the ready-mades. A ready-made is an object that is already made, of course, but it turns into a work of art when the artist gives it the artistic nomination, like the fountain in 1917, made by Duchamp.
Art was already going through a breakthrough era by the time the Dadaism was emerging. The next big step after this art breakthrough was the emancipation of aesthetics from traditional art, the dada. If public was already questioning art from all these changes, they saw Dadaism as the death of their traditional artistic values. The dada initiated the path to thinking that art is not only something physical or precise, but it could also be a representation, a symbol.
Conceptualism is one of the key factors to understanding postmodern art. A group of artists could be considered master thinkers, innovators, and avant-garde activists, and at the same time be considered tricksters, arbitrators, and jesters.
One of Hirst's most famous artistic work is called The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living, which is a 4.3-meter tiger shark immersed in a formaldehyde in a clear display case. What makes it hard to consider this art is the questioning of how can a dead shark be put in the display case and be sold for $8 million.
You could just stare at the dead shark, realizing that it has a physical impossibility. At the same time, it could get into your mind, the mind of someone living. Some people believe that Hirst's shark and the rest of his works of art are nothing more than products of the cultural industry. The cultural industry exploits art-related works for the solely goal of making money.
Hirst's success is said to be made up from his originality and breaking the usual parameters of art, by the idea of rebelling against the established order already came stronger from the Dada era. And this is not the only factor that questions Hirst's originality. Some people may argue that Hirst is a genius for breaking the established order, just like Marcel Duchamp did, but there is a significant difference between these two figures.
Duchamp actually broke every single traditional artistic value with conceptualism and the Dada. Hirst did not really break the established order by rebelling against the art parameters, since the contemporary established order is already about rebelling. This is not the only difference between Hirst and Duchamp that could push people to believe that a certain type of art is actually artistic. Originality is an important part of the conceptualism idea. If not, the concept would be no more than a replica of what someone else has thought, but interpreted differently.
In 1989, 2 years before Damien Hirst came up with his shark, there was already a dead shark on public display by Eddie Saunders. So, also a matter of questioning, if Saunders has published the shark 2 years before, why wasn't it considered a masterpiece like Hirst?
Progression has always gone hand in hand with modernity, but this ultra-progression, shaping the postmodern world, this breaking of concepts, looks like it's going to keep going without breaks.
If the world keeps on progressing with no limits, and the perception of art has changed so dramatically, from Michelangelo Buonarroti to Marcel Duchamp, does that mean there is going to be a point in which we are going to consider artistic something that our minds are not able to conceive as art today?